Jared's heart was pounding like a drum in a crowded stadium. He had made a lot of bad decisions, but none worse than the small, colorful debt he owed to the worst collectors in the city. Today, they were coming for him. And Jared knew he had exactly 5 minutes to disappear. He looked around the busy streets of Neoterra, a city filled with neon lights, hovering vehicles, and aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some had 6 arms, some had scales, and some were so tall they brushed the second-floor windows. Jared felt completely out of place, a human in a city designed for beings much stronger than him. The debt collectors were closing in. He could hear their heavy boots clanging against the metal streets. Jared needed a hiding spot fast. That's when he saw them, a group of muscle-bound alien girls outside their floating laundry station. Their arms were as big as tree trunks, and their movements were quick and precise, folding and tossing giant piles of colorful clothing. An idea, insane even by Jared's standards, flashed in his mind. If I hide in their laundry basket, they won't see me, he thought. It's simple, and maybe, just maybe, it will work. Jared tiptoed closer, trying not to make a sound. The aliens were laughing and chatting in a strange, melodic language he didn't understand. One of them, a purple-skinned girl with glowing green eyes, tossed a bright orange shirt into a basket with such force it bounced like a trampoline. Jared froze, realizing how strong these girls really were. Okay. I can do this, he whispered to himself. He crouched low and slipped into an empty laundry basket. At first, it felt safe, like a weird, soft little box. But the moment he tried to adjust, the basket wobbled. Jared scrambled to stay inside, holding onto the edges with all his might. The aliens didn't notice him at first. That was his small victory. But then one of them, the tallest with silver hair that sparkled under the neon lights, reached for the basket. Jared's heart stopped. The basket tilted dangerously, and he rolled inside like a human tumbleweed. Oh no, oh no, oh no, he muttered, trapped under a pile of giant alien shirts. One of the girls picked up the basket and lifted it high. Jared dangled like a rag doll. If I fall now, I'm done for, he thought. But the aliens didn't notice anything unusual. They started carrying the laundry toward a huge machine that looked like a cross between a washing machine and a teleporter. Jared's stomach dropped. He had no idea where they were taking him. The basket jiggled, bounced, and even spun slightly as the aliens moved with surprising speed. Jared tried to crawl out, but he was buried under an avalanche of colorful alien clothes. His arms flailed, hitting soft alien shirts and weird, stretchy fabrics that snapped back like rubber. He squeaked in panic, realizing he might actually get washed along with the clothes. Meanwhile, the debt collectors had arrived at the street corner. 2 huge, scarred aliens with glowing red eyes scanned the area. He can't hide forever, one growled in a low, metallic voice. Jared's heart raced. Every second felt like a lifetime. Inside the basket, he tried to calm down. He reminded himself, just stay quiet, don't move, they can't see me. But it was hard to stay still when the basket was swinging back and forth. One wrong move and, splat, he would be exposed. The aliens carrying the basket laughed and talked, completely unaware of their tiny human cargo. They placed the basket next to a stack of other baskets and began sorting clothes. Jared peeked through a gap and froze. One of the alien girls was reaching for exactly the shirt covering him. This is it. This is the end, he whispered. He tried to pull himself deeper into the pile, but it was like trying to disappear into a mountain. The alien's fingers grazed his arms. Jared yelped softly and pulled his hands back, holding his breath. Just then, a smaller alien, a pink one with wings like a dragonfly, zoomed past, bumping the basket. Jared rolled over, landing on top of a glowing blue sock. He tried not to panic as the basket shifted violently. He could hear the metallic footsteps of the debt collectors getting closer. Jared's mind raced. He had survived many bad choices, but this was by far the craziest. Hiding in alien laundry to escape debt collectors? Genius? Maybe. Insane? Definitely. Dangerous? Absolutely. As the aliens continued folding and tossing clothes, Jared realized he had only one choice left: stay perfectly still and hope they didn't notice him, or risk everything by trying to escape. He gritted his teeth and tried to become invisible under the bright alien fabrics. The camera, or in this case, Jared's imagination, would zoom in on his terrified eyes peeking through a gap. The sounds of laughter, clanging laundry, and approaching footsteps filled the air. The audience would be left on the edge of their seat. And then, the silver-haired alien's hand reached directly toward him. Jared's eyes widened in terror. "Oh no, oh no, oh no," he whispered again. Would he survive? Or was this the moment that his crazy plan finally failed? Jared had survived the initial panic, but survival was just the beginning. He was buried deep inside a basket of alien clothes, trapped under fabrics that seemed to have a life of their own. The soft, stretchy material kept sliding off him, wrapping around his arms and legs like some kind of mischievous alien vine. He tried to move quietly, but every twitch made the clothes squeak, snap, or bounce. Above him, the aliens continued their laundry routine, completely unaware that a human was trapped in their pile. The purple-skinned girl with glowing green eyes picked up a shirt and stretched it with such force that Jared was pulled upward like a toy caught in a sling. "Ow! Ow! Ow!" he whispered, muffled by layers of clothing. He clutched a neon sock for balance, trying not to scream. Meanwhile, the small pink-winged alien zoomed past again, kicking the basket. Jared shot sideways, landing on top of a pile of glowing underwear. He tried to calm himself. "Just stay calm," he told himself. "Nobody can see me, hopefully." But the basket began rolling, tilting toward a large, humming machine at the side of the laundry station. Its lights blinked in rainbow patterns, and it buzzed with energy, making the clothes vibrate and jiggle. Jared felt his stomach flip. "What is this, a washing machine, or a teleportation device?" he muttered. The basket teetered on the edge. He tried to hold on, but a sudden toss of a giant towel sent him flying halfway across the laundry floor. He landed in a pile of socks, completely wrapped up. It was like being trapped inside a soft, spinning prison. From outside the laundry station, Jared could hear the debt collectors approaching. Their boots clanged louder with every step, echoing against the metal street. His chest tightened. "They're here. I'm dead if they see me now," he thought. He peeked through a gap in the socks and saw two hulking aliens with glowing red eyes. They were scanning the area, looking for him. Jared realized something: he couldn't just stay still anymore. The clothes around him began to move as the aliens continued their work. Towels flopped, shirts stretched, and glowing socks slithered like tiny snakes. Each movement threatened to reveal him. He had to think fast. Using the glowing socks as makeshift ropes, Jared tried to wriggle toward the edge of the basket. But every move made the pile shift. One of the purple-skinned alien girls picked up a giant pair of pants and started folding them, right on top of him. Jared's face pressed into the fabric, and he gasped. He could smell detergent mixed with alien sweat, a bizarre but strangely sweet aroma. "Oh, this is terrible," he whispered. "I can't breathe, and I can't move." The basket tipped dangerously. He felt the alien's hands brushing the pile, searching for clothes, and for a terrifying second, he thought, "Do they feel me?" The chaos escalated. The laundry machine buzzed louder, and the basket rolled closer. Jared accidentally kicked a shirt, sending it flying into the silver-haired alien's face. She yelped in surprise, and the basket wobbled violently. Jared held on for dear life, dangling in a tangle of fabric. The debt collectors reached the street outside. They could see the aliens moving strangely, carrying heaps of laundry. Confused, they stopped and whispered to each other. "Where is he? He has to be here somewhere." Jared realized the aliens were completely oblivious to him. Somehow, he was invisible in plain sight. He couldn't understand it, but he didn't have time to question it. The basket rolled again, and he fell, face first, into a pile of glowing underwear. He felt like a pancake. His arms were twisted, and his legs were bent in impossible directions. At that moment, the purple-skinned alien's hand reached into the pile. Jared froze, holding his breath. She lifted a shirt, and for a terrifying second, it felt like she had touched him. He thought he was doomed. But instead, she tossed the shirt onto the machine and moved on. Jared slumped with relief, his heart pounding like crazy. Then came the worst part. The basket tipped again and slid onto a conveyor belt leading directly into the humming machine. Jared's stomach lurched. No, 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 he shouted in his head. But the aliens didn't notice. The machine's lights flashed brighter, the hum grew louder, and the basket started to rise, slowly. Jared could only cling to the sides, hanging upside down. The clothes shifted constantly, making him spin and flip like a rag doll. His panic reached a new level. Every second felt like an eternity. The debt collectors outside were moving closer, scanning every corner, while Jared spun helplessly inside the alien laundry chaos. And then, a hand grabbed him. Not a small one, but a huge, strong alien hand. The basket tipped, and Jared tumbled into the palm of the silver-haired alien. She looked down at him with wide, curious eyes. For the first time, Jared realized he had been caught not by the debt collectors, but by the aliens themselves. "Oh," Jared whispered, dangling from her massive fingers. "I think hiding in alien laundry was the worst idea in history." The machine hummed. The conveyor belt moved forward. The debt collectors stomped outside. And Jared was trapped in one of the most absurd, dangerous situations of his life. Jared dangled helplessly in the massive hand of the silver-haired alien. His body was tangled in glowing socks, stretchy shirts, and neon underwear. He could barely breathe, and his mind was screaming, "This is it. This is how I die, suffocated in alien laundry while debt collectors watch." But the alien didn't seem angry. In fact, she looked curiously amused, tilting her head like Jared was some strange little toy. Hello," he squeaked, hoping she wouldn't notice he was a human. The alien blinked. Then she lifted him up higher, inspecting him as if he were part of the laundry. "Please, don't drop me," Jared begged silently. But before he could think of an escape, her other hand grabbed a giant, humming laundry machine lever and pulled it down. The machine roared to life. Lights flashed, buttons beeped, and the conveyor belt shuddered. Jared flew through the air, landing, miraculously still tangled in clothes, on a floating ironing board. He rolled off, slid across piles of laundry, and ended up in the middle of a tower of spinning baskets. From outside, the debt collectors had seen enough. They charged toward the aliens, shouting and waving their weapons. But the aliens didn't even flinch. One of the collectors tripped on a pile of laundry, somersaulted, and ended up wrapped in a neon towel. Another was bounced into a basket by a giant shirt. Jared couldn't believe it. Even the debt collectors were part of the chaos now. Jared tried to crawl to safety, but every step was a disaster. A flying sock smacked him in the face. A pair of stretchy pants swung like a rope and catapulted him into a basket. He landed on top of the pink-winged alien, who squawked in surprise, flapping wildly. Jared clung for dear life as they zipped through the laundry room, spinning around like a tornado of fabric. Somewhere in the middle of the chaos, Jared had an idea, an insane, risky idea. He grabbed a glowing shirt, wrapped it around himself like a cape, and jumped onto the conveyor belt. The belt carried him directly into the humming machine. He braced for disaster, expecting lasers, steam, or alien soap explosions. Instead, the machine spit him out in a burst of bubbles and foam, flying across the room like a human rocket. He landed in a giant laundry basket with a soft thunk, perfectly intact but completely covered in soap, foam, and strange glowing fabrics. The aliens paused for a moment, staring at him. Then the room erupted again. The silver-haired alien lifted a basket of clothes and accidentally dumped it on top of Jared. He squirmed, kicked, and rolled, ending up wrapped head to toe in colorful alien laundry. He looked like a bizarre laundry mummy. Outside, the debt collectors, soaked and defeated, retreated. One of them muttered, "This is impossible." Jared peeked through a hole in the clothes, trying not to laugh. The aliens had no idea he had survived, and honestly, neither did he. Finally, the aliens started sorting the laundry again, completely ignoring him. Jared, still tangled, realized he had a chance to escape. He slid out slowly, step by step, like a ninja made of neon socks. Every movement was careful, But as soon as he was halfway free, he sneezed. The sneeze was catastrophic. The basket tipped. Clothes flew everywhere. Jared was spun like a rag doll through the air, landing in a pile of glowing underwear right next to the silver-haired alien. She looked down at him, cocked her head, and tilted it further. Jared froze. But then, she laughed. Not a scary alien laugh, but a booming, cheerful laugh. Jared's face went red with embarrassment. Somehow, he had survived the craziest laundry disaster in the galaxy. He scrambled to his feet, sticky soap dripping from his hair, glowing socks dangling from his ears. He looked at the aliens and said, thanks? I think? The aliens blinked, then went back to their work, leaving him standing there, victorious but completely ridiculous. Jared finally took a deep breath. The debt collectors were gone. He had survived. He had escaped death by alien laundry. And for the first time in his life, he realized maybe, just maybe, he needed a new plan that didn't involve hiding in clothes. But as he turned to leave, another basket tipped over. Jared groaned. His adventure wasn't over yet. Not by a long shot.